sure that all the other tech is good to go. So let me check around where we are in all these different places. Make sure we are good. Let me know where you're coming in from if you're here early for the early birds that may be in the house. So let me know if you're here or not. All right, so we're going good from there. Good, good, good. All right, early birds, good to go. All right, early birds in the house. Let me know if you're here, where you're chiming in from. I'm checking the different places right now. Restreaming in a couple of places today. And all right, we got you here, All righty. And we're a little bit early as usual, so I'll just be here kind of chatting with you before we get started, just so I know if you're in the house or not. And we're going live in one more spot today, so let me check there. All righty. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. How you doing, Christine? Coming in from Miami. Good to see you. Good to see you. What's up, Coach? Good to see you, man. Thank y'all for coming in. I actually only have one question that came in through the form this week. So if you all want to jump in the queue, you can start asking your questions now if you like. And I will get to those today. We do have space for live questions today. So if you have them, let me know. Wow, we have people coming in from Sweden. Appreciate you. Got a Facebook user here from Toronto. That's Steven over here, or Steph over here on the Facebook page in the Video Graphics for Live Streamers group. Yeah, I'm actually going to put, this may be the only week that I'm going to be in the live streaming group, right? Because I really want this to be a YouTube feature where people come in on YouTube and jump in live with me. But I am restreaming this into one of my groups right now, which is the Video Graphics for Live Streamers group. They're going to get a sneak peek of this today in the group, but otherwise it will be in YouTube from here on out. So I want just to give you guys a sneak peek. Those are in my home there. So welcome if you're looking at me right now from the Video Graphics and Live Streamers Facebook group. All right, cool, cool. Got B-Love in the house. Cool, all right. Okay, so we got about 1 minute left, and let me close this other window over here because we don't need it. And like I said, we have one question that came in from the form for reviewing graphics or asking a graphic question. So once I get through that question, the floor is open for you to have not working on YouTube at the moment. Let me go back to YouTube and check that while we still have a little time. Let's see what channel it may be breaking on, because right now, let's see. Okay, right now I'm showing up live on my channel and on the Ecamm channel. Let's make sure. Showing up live. Okay. So I'm showing up on my channel right now. And hey, Bob, let me know where. Okay, it is now. Okay, good. All right. So my channel is up and running. The Ecamm channel is up and running. And I got everybody coming in from both of those channels. And I have one Facebook channel right now, which is my Video Graphics for Live Streamers Facebook group that I'm in right now. So other than that, I think we're good to go, y'all. Let me close these extra windows because I don't need them. And we're at 2:01, so let's get started. Hey, y'all. This is Bradley of Bradley Teaches, and welcome to the Ecamm Video Graphics Workshop. This is my weekly episode, so to speak, where I answer your graphics questions as it relates to creating them for videos, right? So graphics and animations questions. I do graphic reviews. And we just kind of do some workshop things, right? Some graphics you're working on that you have questions with, some things you're trying to create that you may be trying to figure out how to do them a different way. And so that's what this is for. We're just here for an hour, workshopping out what you guys are working on. I'm going to do my best to answer your graphics questions, and we're going to do some cool stuff, right? So let's rock and roll. I know the first one that I have, the first question that I have is actually from my friend from, where is he from? Is he from Japan? But my friend Tan, right? He sent me a question about just doing a better layout for his overlay when he wants to have himself on the screen and have his slides on the screen, right? And you guys that have seen my tutorials, you've seen me do different tutorials about how to do live Keynote presentations on the screen with you and things like that. He's coming through his iPad. And let me just show you what he's working with. So this is the graphic that he sent me of just a layout that he did, right? And he wants to be able to just have a better layout, right? And the different things that I talked to him about were, because he's doing this through an iPad, right? You're not going to get a 16:9 screen from your iPad natively. It's going to come out with bars on it typically, depending on what version of iPad you're using. And I think even the new iPad Pro will have bars on it when you bring it in through USB into Ecamm. So you want to design your overlay with those bars in mind, right? So you may not be able to have a 16:9 hole cut out of your overlay. So you may want to have a 4:3 design for that, right? And you can still put your picture next to that. So I sent him some different designs before that he and I just kind of workshop through Messenger, but I will kind of do a quick draw of a layout that may work better for him. Now, some of the things as I'll show you right here now, it is very monotone. It's very blue. And I told him about that, right? He needs more accent. He wants to give his windows a little more air around them and a little more margin between the windows. And so we're going to go into Keynote real quick and just workshop out a couple of quick little different layouts for him. So let's jump into Keynote right here. And I'm going to do a new presentation. Select all, delete those. And so what I'm going to do here, let's go ahead and do a no fill on it, even though we're not going to export it. So we're going to do a couple of shapes. And actually, I want to show you guys something cool about building custom shapes too, right? So this is the window for him, right? So his speaker window. And here's a secondary window, which he wanted to be a 16:9 window, right? Which, as I said, you can cut out a 16:9 window, but if your PowerPoint, or I'm sorry, if your iPad presentation is not coming into Ecamm in a 16:9 format, you don't need to cut a 16:9 window for that, right? Because you're going to usually get those bars on the side. So you're more than likely going to be doing a 4:3 type format, right? So the things you really want to look out for is you don't want a lot of things really tight to the edges. You want to really build your layouts where you're getting kind of equal footing, right, around different places. So a layout like this could work for you, where this window is your Keynote window. And even if it's more of a rectangular window, right? But let me show you something that I know a lot of people may not have taken advantage of that you can do in Keynote. So I'm going to show you something cool that I haven't done in any tutorial so far. So let me delete both of these windows. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but in his design, he had kind of a curved edge and a straight edge on his window. So let's draw one more of these, right? Here's just two windows as an example. So you want to add a little flair to your windows and have something different, like have a straight edge and a curved edge. Here's a cool way to do that. So right now I have a curved edge box, which is the second box, but I'm going to add another shape now to square off the corners. So let's go to shape, and we're going to do another box, and I'll make it green so we can tell the different colors, right? And I want to have a couple of square edges and a couple of round edges. So I'm going to put a square edge shape here, and let's copy paste that. And let's put a square edge shape in this corner. So basically I have 2 round edges, 2 square edges, right? But there are multiple shapes right now. What you want to do is select all those shapes, go to Format, Shapes and Lines, Unite Shapes. So now I have a shape that has square edges and round edges, right? You can do all kinds of different custom edges that way. So now I want to have a square edge on this one. Let's do it again. Pick a rectangle and let it snap to the corner like I'm doing here. And just draw it out to make sure it covers up until it gets to the straight area. Select both shapes, Format, Shapes and Lines, Unite Shapes. And now you can get those special kind of edged shapes and do different things like that, right? You can also, just because we're here, let's play with it a little bit. You want to make some crazy shape? You can do this, right? Select both of those shapes and Format, Shapes and Lines, Subtract Shapes, right? So you can do all kinds of different things. And then you can subtract this shape from your overlay. And now you have a different kind of funky shaped window, right? So there's all kinds of different things you can do that way. But the things you want to do, especially when you're making overlays, is just kind of watch your edges. You don't want things really close to the edge. You don't want boxes really close to each other. Unless that's part of your design, right? But you really want to just give your boxes and your cutouts a little air, right? You really want them to have room to breathe and have where that background design can really show up and make an impact in your video. So you definitely want to watch for those things. So hopefully those will help you out there, Tan. And if you have any more questions about your layouts, please let me know. All right, y'all. Let me jump into the list here and see if you guys have anything you're working on. Any questions? Let's see. Trying to do animated confetti for Ecamm. Animated confetti. Well, there's actually a confetti animation that's built in. Yeah, so I'll do both of these real quick, right? So let's do these. So the first thing is the confetti, right? Which is going to be, yeah, I can do confetti, but let me go back so I can put that question on screen. Okay, because I want to show it. Okay, so we have trying to do animated confetti for Ecamm. So that is actually, let's go back to Keynote. That is a animation option, like a confetti transition. So if I click this and I go to animate, and confetti is an option, right? Which is basically that kind of thing, right? But say you want to have confetti over the whole screen. And I'm just spitballing here right now, right? Because there's another way to do it, but I want to see an easier way, right? So we have right now, it could actually, let's say if we did black on black. We're going to workshop this thing out a little bit. So black on black, and we're going to go to animate, build out, add an effect, and confetti. Let's see if it's, no, you can't see it unless it's a color. Okay. So we'll go back to format and we'll make it white and animate, build out, and confetti. Yeah, so you can do confetti like that, but let me see this real quick because I'm actually just kind of spitballing. Let's see. Format, gradient fill. And let's do a advanced gradient fill. So then that way we can add more colors maybe. So let's do, advanced gradient fill. And let's pick red, blue. I don't know how this is going to work. We're just kind of playing with it. And here's a green, right? So now let's confetti this thing out. Animate, build out, add an effect. Confetti. Yeah, so that way you can get kind of a bursting design that way. That may be an option to do animated confetti. So you just do like multi-gradient fill and then have it confetti out. And then that way you can get all kinds of different sparkly colors, right? So that's one way to do it. You could also, I guess if you didn't want that, this to be there first, right? You could also say if we did 2 slides, right? And the first slide is black. And we could have that slide maybe confetti. I don't know. This is all spitballing here. I don't know if confetti is an option for that. Might not be. Confetti. Let's see. That doesn't work that good. Yeah, and so kind of confettiing this, maybe go from a black to a multicolor or something like that. But it's definitely an option, right? You just want to multicolor your box and then confetti it in or confetti it out. And then that way you can have kind of a multicolor kind of confetti thing. Maybe that can work. So could you do a review of how to add texture or images in a shape? Yeah, I can do that for you real good too. All right, so let's go back to Keynote. And that's a question. Hopefully, Christine, that answered your question. If not, we can kind of workshop that out some more. I could actually build little rectangles and have them move off the screen, but I wanted to kind of find a quick way for you to get that confetti burst, right? So it may or may not work for you, but let me know if that could potentially work for you, right? Let's see. Okay, how to add a image background, right? So basically, let's first make a shape. And let's make it a different color for now. So here's my overlay. Let's cut a hole in it. Let's make it that. Let's do another shape to cut a hole in it. Just so you know a hole is cut out of it. Picking bad colors today, y'all. Okay, there we go. So format, shapes and lines, subtract shapes. So now we have a hole cut out, and now we have an overlay, right? So we want to go to fill for the overlay and go to image fill. So now you have, it's simply that. You just basically fill the shape with something. And so I can go back now. Let me go find a PNG file on my desktop. I got plenty of them somewhere. Here we go. We'll just use that one. Drag that in. Okay. So there we go. So that's how you have a shape and you can fill that shape if you got a background texture, you got a background image. You can't fill a shape with a video though, with a hole cut out of it anyway, right? So you can't cut a hole out of a video backdrop. But if you can fill the image with anything, you can cut a hole in that. So that's basically all you have to do. Select the shape, go to image fill, and then pick whatever image you want. You can scale to fill it. You can tile it. So yeah, all those options are available. So that's basically how you would do that. Quick and easy. Have the shape, fill the shape with an image. All right. Come on, Facebook user. I don't know who this is, but have way too many questions. That's what I'm here for. We've only been active for 15 minutes. So there's plenty of time to jump in with your questions if you have them. Cool. We got somebody from Trinidad. Cool. Okay, cool. Yes, that's it with the transparent overlay. Yeah, the Christine, you asked the question about the confetti. Yes, when the slide is transparent and I export that, it'll break away to the confetti. So it's there, right? The downside, what I'm thinking about now is, oh, you know what? Let's try it again. So we have this. We're going to have this break away as confetti. Let's just do that real quick. Build out confetti. We're going to pick it, right? So that built out as confetti. And we're going to have it do it all at once and build order. And so right now, we have the build out of the confetti immediately, right? So let me just do another image so you can see the whole effect. Because let's workshop this thing out. That was pretty, because if it works, right, I think it'll be kind of a cool thing. So format, advanced gradient fill. Oh, I had the fill already. Okay, so we have this, and we're going to have it animate, build out confetti, right? So basically, it starts off like this, but it's going to immediately build out confetti. What's the no gravity? So this is all kind of stuff. Gravity. Okay, whatever. All right. So let's do this real quick. Delete that. And this slide has no fill. Okay. So we're going to export this as a movie. No delays at the front or back. Apple ProRes 4444. Next. And we're going to call this Con for confetti. Export that. So let's just see how it works, right? So now let's go back to my main window here. Let's add the con. Okay, so it immediately does it. So that's cool. So I can turn off the confetti, turn it back on, right? And so there's your confetti. So even though in Keynote, it starts off with a full multicolor screen, right? Because the animation to build out is immediate, you don't get this full screen multicolor window that covers up your video. So you get the immediate confetti, and you can eyeball it on and off whenever you want it, right? Or have it for a new scene. So it's the first thing that happens on a new scene. So you just have, hey, celebration, and then the confetti comes. So hopefully that works for you. See, we're able to workshop that out. So Christine, hopefully that works for you. Hopefully you dig that. Yeah. So, but it's just basically a immediate build out animation on a multicolor box for confetti. And as Eric is saying here, I'm not sure if you guys see those comments, but Eric was saying that the confetti falls to the bottom of the screen if you have gravity. How would you add a colored border around the cutout? I will show you that. Okay, there's a couple of ways to, let me get down to the questions, right? Because these questions come in hot and heavy, which is cool. I dig it. All right, so let's see. So hopefully we got you covered now, Christine. And what would the color border look like? Okay, let's put the questions on the screen so you guys can see what's going on. All right, so now let's go back to Keynote. There's two ways to add a, move myself to the top up here. There's two ways to add, what's the word? Borders to different things you cut out, right? So let's just use this one. I'm gonna add a new shape here and we'll make it green. So there's two ways to add borders. So the first way is, so I have my shape on top of another shape that I plan on cutting out, right? So how I would do that, I go to object list, let's turn that off, and I would copy the shape. That's my first way of doing it, right? So I'd copy the shape and put an outline around that shape. So format, border, line, and okay, border, turn off the color fill. Well, let's make it a different color. So let's make it yellow. Okay, no fill. Okay, so the first shape would just be my border. The second shape would be the shape that I cut out to make my overlay. So then I would go then and go shift click the next two shapes, format, shapes and lines, subtract shapes. So now I have my border and now I have my subtraction, right? And I can always go, because this is now a whole nother shape. That's the same shape as a subtraction, right? So I can go in here, I can change the color of the shape, color of the border, make the border bigger, make the border smaller, change the line, blah, 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 right? That's one way to do it, by duplicating the shape, putting no fill and a border. The other way to do it is just to now select the overlay, the whole overlay, and put a border on it. So what that does, it puts a border around the outside of the shape and it puts a border around the cutout. What you want to make sure of though is that your background graphic or the thing you cut the hole out of is bigger than your slide, right? Because if it's not, if it's the exact size of the slide, you're going to get that extra border on your export. You want to make sure that your shape is bigger than the slide, because what happens when I export this now, the slide will crop it to the size of the slide. So that extra border on the outside would not be there. So there's two ways to do it. Duplicate the shape that you plan on using to cut the hole out with, or just put a border around the whole overlay once you have cut the hole out. So those are the two ways to do that. So hopefully that helps you out with that one. All righty, let's see. What is the option you choose for the last graphic with your logo overlaid while? Okay. I am guessing you mean, if I go here, I'm still with the overlay, right? And I'm going to go to image fill, and you have different options, right? You can tile it, which means it's going to tile the image over and over and over to make it fit. You can use stretch it. So if your image is not proportional to your box, it will stretch it to make it fit. And as you see here, I'm not sure if you can tell, it looks really kind of jaggy and disproportionate. That's the one you don't want to use, right? I can scale to fill, which will blow it up to fill it. Or I can just say scale to fit or original size. I typically go with original size and I scale the original size, right? So you can go different ways to do it that way, right? Scale to fill is always a good option to make it fill it up. So, but that's kind of how you want to play that one out. But those are the different options to fill the shape with your image. You more than likely want to build a big enough image ahead of time where it's going to fill the shape and not disproportionate, make it fuzzy to fill it. If that's going to happen, you may want to tile it, right? And so you kind of get that kind of look. So those are definitely your options. All righty then. Let's see. Love these questions coming in, y'all. Let's see. Cool. Let's see what we got here going on. Okay, let's see what you have here. This is more of an Ecamm direct question, but let's see. Is there a way to gather all the Ecamm windows together so it appears as one app where I always know where to find things? Well, in Ecamm itself, you can open up your different windows and drag them and lay them out around your desktop where you like them. And when you close Ecamm and open it back up, all those windows will be where you left them, right? So you can kind of build an interface for yourself by being an Ecamm and going to the Windows palette and just picking out which windows you want open, right? Then drag them around your screen, size them how you want it, kind of put your Lego pieces together how you want it. And then that's the look you're going to have. So next time you open up Ecamm, that's going to be your layout on your desktop screen. So that's one way to do it. You have to kind of lay it out ahead of time. I don't think there's a show all windows option. I've never used that because, oh yeah, it is actually. If you go and you're in Ecamm, go to the window drop down and there's a thing that says show all utility windows. And if you do that, everything opens up. You can close the ones you don't want and kind of drag them around and kind of put, puzzle pieces together. So yes, you can definitely do that. Let's see. How to animate the border around the cutout. Okay, let's do that. Now, that can be done. That can be done if I have a separate shape that's providing the outline. If I do the outline around, if I do the outline as part of the overlay, just by saying add outline like you see here, you cannot do that animation. But if I do it this way, let me turn this border off. because we don't need a border on that to make it happen. And now, so say shape. And I'm gonna draw, I'm gonna kind of a rough house this, right? So let's say we had the border and it was the right size and all that. I can kind of get it roughly there. Okay, so there's my border, no fill, border with the line, and let's take off the dotted line. So that's my border, right? What I can do here is go animate, build in, add an effect. And because I'm using the line feature, I now have line draw as a built-in option. So now, there you go. So you can have that line come in, then you can have the line go back out. So let's add the line as a built-in clockwise, right? Then let's go to build out, line draw, clockwise, 2 seconds, right? So let's go to build order. Where's my build order palette? Where'd you go? Let's build another screen. Wherever it went. Oh, I'm not in that thing. Okay. Where'd my palette go? Who knows? Okay. So build order, palette. Alrighty. My build order screen left me. Must have been another screen somewhere. Okay, but whatever. All right, so now you can actually see the preview of it building in and building out, right? So whenever you use a stroke as a feature, you can now have line draw as a build in, build out option. And then you can build those into your design. So that is how you do that. Let's see what this question is. Let's see. Yep, image fill, border solution. Cool, cool, cool. Chocolate twist. Good to see you in the house. Okay, you watched my show on Sunday and saw that I was using a video overlay with a transparent cutout. You got to give me more information about that because whenever you export, oh, I'm saying something that you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Whenever I export a video from Keynote, it saves it as a movie file, right? Now, there are places on the web where I can get royalty-free videos with the hole already cut out. I can cut the hole out of a video in Final Cut Pro, After Effects, stuff like that. So videos, okay, let me show you this. Okay, because I don't want to say, I have videos that have a hole cut out of them, but they're not a video made in Keynote, right? There's other kind of videos that you can have a hole cut out in that I made in other software. Usually when I'm exporting a video from Keynote, it is a animation that I made in Keynote, right? So it's going to be a little different than a video with a hole cut out, right? So I don't want to tell you something's possible when it's not, because there's a different kind of hole in the video, right? And I want to show you that real quick. Let me see if I can find one. Let's see. It's not it. Those don't have a. Yeah, I thought I had one readily available. Let's see. Okay, like this one. Okay, let me show you this one. So this video with the hole cut out of it was, let me go back. All right. This video with the hole cut out of it was not made in Ecamm. I made this somewhere else, right? But videos that I make in Ecamm are basically animations that are saved as movie files, right? And if I ever did put something like that on a screen, it was probably by accident if I showed somebody that when I was trying to show them something else, because I don't like to show you guys things that I can't show you how to create in Ecamm. But other videos that have transparency in them are basically like the countdown timers, things like that, right? So if I'm actually in Ecamm, and let's turn that off, we don't need that anymore. If I'm in Ecamm, right, and I save this as an animation, right? It's going to save it as a movie file. This movie would then have transparency on it, right? So that's how you do those but to export it, so say I want to export this as a movie. I'll go to File, Export to Movie, and I want to make sure that I export it as Apple ProRes 4444. Then it will have transparency and it will be a movie, right? That I export and can use in Ecamm. That's different than a native video already having a hole cut out of it for transparency, which you would have to do in another kind of program. So hopefully that was helpful. All right. Back to the cues. All right. So let's see what we got here. I will take a Canva question. It's odd that you say that because this week, I'll probably recording it tonight or tomorrow. I plan on doing tutorials for Canva. And I know a lot of people use Canva, and my audience is still mainly kind of the Mac audience, especially because of Ecamm and other software like that. But I know people like to use Canva. So I'm going to start showing people how to do things in Canva. And so you guys you didn't hear it here first. You heard it here second, because I told my Facebook group that I'm going to start doing Canva tutorials. So look out for those. They'll probably be starting the rollout next week. I'm going to be recording some this week for rollout for next week. So look out for some Canva tutorials. All righty, y'all. Okay. Anyone? Okay. So come on with your Canva question. I'll see if I can answer it real quick for you. And while you're kind of putting your question together, let me get a browser open and get my Canva open. And let's see if we can work out your Canva question. All right, so I have my Canva open, and I'll wait on your question. Okay, you're gonna wait on the tutorial. Okay. I went through all this trouble to open up Canva, and you're not gonna ask me a Canva question. Okay. So I mean, I'm free right now, so not sure if I can answer it, but we can try. If it's some kind of Canva graphics related question, we can see. All right, y'all. I am committed to be here for the hour, but if you all don't have any more questions, I can shut it down for the day and see what else you guys may have. Okay. You have a question, Chocolate Twist Yoga. So let me know what your Canva question is, and I'll see if I can answer it for you. And anyone else that may have a question, cool. Anyone else has a question, let me know. Anything that I covered today that you may want to repeat on, that I might have gone a little bit too fast on or something like that. Actually, that is a thing about Canva that it cannot do. Canva cannot export transparent GIF files, which is this animation tool of choice, an animation export of choice, right? It can export video, but it cannot export transparent background video. So to do a transparent confetti animation in natively in Canva is not possible. Now you can do it with maybe a green screen background, but then you'd have to green screen that out in your streaming app or in your video editing app if you wanted to add it after the fact, right? So you would do a full screen presentation graphic with that confetti animation, which is something I have not tried at all in Canva, because that's not going to be my desired role with Canva, is doing a bunch of animations. Yes, I will do animation, but there'll be full screen, solid background animations because that's what Canva is better at. So not to say it can't do it. That's not what it's made for. You'd have to do a green screen thing, then export the green screen, and there'd be a different workflow for that. Um, in Canva, how do I create a highlight glow around an image? Oh, okay. That is also not native in Canva for the drop shadow and stuff like that. Uh, like I said, there's things that Canva's made for and things that they're not made for. The glow and stuff like that are features that you can add for text, not necessarily for all the shapes and images. Yeah. So that's stuff I'm working around honestly myself to see if I can figure out a workaround for that in Canva. So temporarily, you have stumped me on that to try to figure out how to do those. It's the halo effect, is what you're saying, right? That kind of text glow or image glow. It's not a native thing right now for Canva, and I'm trying to work out different workarounds for that. Um, yeah. Hey, Rob, how's it going? Yeah, how the SpaceX thing go? Because I know that was pretty much a nerd paradise to watch that video. I'm actually missing it to do this. Okay. Um, okay. So let's try that, right? There's some built-in text features of Canva. And let me go to Canva. Let's do that real quick. All right, so here's my Canva screen here. And I'm gonna go to templates, because I'll be working mostly with presentation templates, right? So templates, presentation. Okay, why do you keep doing that? There we go. Templates, presentation. There we go. I'm gonna do a blank presentation. And let's just add some text real quick. Right. So they have right, so they have different text features, and that's the thing about a lot of these web-based apps, right? They have the kind of defaulted stuff in, so you can do things like this, right? Um, they have some that are kind of built in. It would be really hard to make that font do those kind of things on your own, but there's definitely features that you can do, right? And I know what you're talking about for that kind of 70s look with the wave, what kind of like what that is on this 70s thing now, right? So there's different things you can do for that, but they're built in. I can't go into a font here and start kind of making, okay, I'm gonna add a little shadow, I'm gonna add a little bit of this, I can add a little bit of that. Now I can do this font, right? And then copy paste it and do a stack up or do one with an outline on it and build that. But that's kind of a tedious process. So it does have their kind of built-in type of different things. You can look through those. And like I said, my lane, which what I'll be doing with Canva more likely is building borders, building lower thirds, building frames, the kind of things that I would be doing with Keynote, but just more so for that Canva preferred audience. I mean, because as you guys know, I don't do the cheese stuff well, and there's a lot of potential for some cheese to be done with Canva. I'm more so making graphics and animations that are going to enhance your video or just kind of ride alongside your video, not really be the boom, bam, blast kind of stuff. So, yeah, but those are kind of the built-in features of that Canva tutorial. So you can definitely do that. Um, Yeah, they have that. The built-in drop shadow stuff. So it's a lot of that, templated type of thing, right? Which is my personal challenge that I'll be overcoming with Canva, right? To stay away from the templated stuff and show you how to build original designs within that Canva workflow. Because I always prefer to have an idea in mind, open up the software and try to figure out how to make that software do that versus open up the software, click a few things, change a box color, and I have a design, right? Because if you do that, that means everybody else can go in and click those same boxes, have that same exact design. So it's that kind of thing, right? Um, yeah, I mean, duplicating the image in Canvas is basically a copy and paste, but adding there's no um, it's more so a gradient kind of thing or a gradient feel, or you start with a solid color that gradiates out to nothing. Those things are not available right now in Canva. And no, I didn't call you cheesy. I just said there's there's a level of cheese that I don't do, or people might like to do, right? And I tell people this, right? I don't I don't want to mandate what you do, but I want to help you enhance your videos because your style, your flow is your flow, right? That's what's going to attract your audience. So I definitely don't want to take away your style or your flow. But some things, um, graphics for graphics' sake versus graphics that do something for you, just want to have a little deeper thought about that. That's all. Um, yeah, but I didn't call you cheesy. But there's a level of cheese that that I'm willing to go to versus other levels of cheese, right? But cheese is good though. I mean, I like cheese in a general sense. All right, y'all. We're about 15 minutes away from closing the doors on this thing. So if y'all have any more questions, sorry I couldn't answer the Canva questions to the best of my ability to actually answer the question, right? Because there's just some things that Canva can't do natively, but there's other workflows that can be done for that. To kind of make those things work, right? And it's just unfortunate. There's some things that are built into Canva that you just have to work with it versus, I'm going to make Canva do that. Some things just Canva just will refuse to do for you. And that halo thing, there's a new thing that they're starting to add now with the drop shadow and stuff like that. But there's still some other things you can't do. Like I can't go into Canva right now and just draw a shape. I have to use one of their built-in shapes and skew it or stretch it or rotate it, right? So those are just different things in the workflow that I'll be teaching around to help us build. All right, y'all. So hopefully today has been helpful for y'all. Please, 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 if you guys have questions, I'm here for them to answer them for you. If you have video reviews you would like me to do, please submit those through the form on the either the Ecamm website or YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, Bradley Teaches. Usually in the description, I'll have a link to the form, and you can go there and submit your question or submit a video or a graphic that you would like me to review here live on the episode, and I'll kind of workshop that out for you and kind of get those questions answered for you. Okay. Um, all right, y'all. I'm going to scroll backwards and just see if I missed any questions. I definitely don't want to miss anything you guys have going on, any questions you guys may have. Um, so I guess we're still good to go on all the YouTube channels. Got some Facebook folks chiming in. Appreciate the kind words, guys. Um, we did the animated confetti, did the texture, did the cutouts. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you for coming. Transparent overlay, did that. All right, the cutouts. All right, y'all. That may be it. So let me know if you have any more questions before I close out today. And thank you all for coming for sure. I definitely appreciate it. You all coming out and giving me an hour of your time, and hopefully I've been able to answer some questions for you and things you have going on and things that you're working on. So I will put out one last call for questions, and if that is it, I will see you all next week. Please be on the lookout for my Canva tutorials coming out real soon, and please come back here live weekly. Bradley teaches Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Central. Want to make it easy for you guys to remember that. So always come back here. You can ask your questions live as usual. I love to take live questions, or you can submit them through the form, especially if you have a video for me to review or some graphics you would like me to review. Submitting those through the form will probably be best because then I can get access to them ahead of time and bring them up during the broadcast. If you send a graphic live, I wouldn't have a way to do it without leaving out of this and going to my messages and all that kind of stuff, and it'd be disruptive to the flow of the session. So please send those early if you have those. Otherwise, I love taking your questions live and we'll just kind of go through them. But I think that's it, y'all. Hopefully I answered all your questions. Thank y'all for coming out, hanging out with me. So until next time, I am Bradley Vinson. Bradley Teaches, better known as Alana's Pawpaw. Be blessed, be free, y'all. Be good to yourselves, be good to one another. I will see you all next week. Thank y'all for coming. Definitely appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Bring those questions, bring your energy, and let's have a good time, y'all. See y'all out there on the interwebs. Be good to yourselves, be good to one another. And as I said before, y'all be good.